Welcome back to Leaf 4 Review. This week,
Liberation by Hamlet. Comes from Rocky Patel. Hamlet's one of their master blenders. Came out with his own line a couple years ago. It's a beautiful cigar. They just came out with, I think, 2 or 3 new sizes this year. Started out just a one-size cigar. I think it was the 3rd edition to the Hamlet line through Rocky. I believe Hamlet's been with the company, I don't remember specifically, but a little while now. Hamlet is from Cuba. It's a master roller from Cuba. He's been rolling a long time. I've had the pleasure of meeting and smoking cigars with him in person. Well, actually, multiple times now, but...
do a link to
Good
that.
dude.
What's that?
We should do the link to that video.
Yeah, could probably show something from that. They're pretty long, but you can
Separate.
Do, you do a little something with that. Real quick on the build: Ecuadorian Habano wrapper. We have a Nicaraguan binder, Honduran Nicaraguan filler. Most notable, shaggy foot. The Hamlet thing. His explanation on the shaggy foot. Why cut off an extra inch of the cigar when we can just give it to you to smoke?
So, shaggy foot is the wrap ends here, and this is all the rolled and filled tobacco sticking out the end of it. It's just, it looks cool.
The difference, though, on smelling the end versus smelling like right here where the wrapper is it's different. The end is like, it's like peppery, and this is like really tame, kind of woodsy.
And when you light that too, you're getting a different flavor than when it hits with the wrap.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
So it's
Transitions
nice.
right in. Let's cut and spark these bad boys up. I mean, just looking at this thing though, it's
got the old scissors, huh?
this is a great looking
I love
cigar.
Clippy.
Just don't hurt yourself.
What else do you do with those, Seth?
Run.
Now, Seth, Mommy said you can't run with scissors.
Didn't say anything about cigar cutters.
Yeah, they're a little less pointy.
Well,
Well, yeah, if you have that sticking out.
Shredded lotus. That's nice.
You know, I get like cocoa cereal on a cold draw.
It smells so good. It just there's this
Cocoa
aroma. It smells.
Yeah, like that, like a
me,
wheat
this is what a
flake
cigar should smell.
cereal or something.
It smells like a cigar should smell.
It's a good one.
When you do smell like the foot of it, you get a little bit of that farmhouse smell, for sure.
That
Almost
manure-y,
yeah.
Barnyard.
which you know a lot of times is
amazing.
a sign of a good
Yeah.
cigar. People are like, that smells terrible. I'm like,
It's
it
delicious.
smells great. It's gonna be fantastic. I don't know what you're talking about.
What's a good note? Manure.
It smells like
Yeah.
manure. That means
Barnyard.
it's good.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. Is that goat or cow?
Yeah. Touch a chicken.
Yeah. Llama.
I do like that though. He was very straightforward when he said it too. He's like, why would I cut off an inch of this cigar?
Yeah.
I'm gonna give you that extra inch of cigar to smoke. So you got a free extra inch.
And it's a cool trademark too.
So this is the Vertigo
It's the Hades torch.
Hades torch. No wonder it's when you turn it full. It's like,
AKA
yeah.
the welder.
The welder. they should
You can
just
sweat some pipes, make creme brulee, and light your cigar
they
all in one
They
tool.
just came out with that this year. And it retails for what, $25? I think?
Yeah, it's a good. It's
it's
great.
a heck of a torch.
Point of Reddit.
Afterburner.
Point of Reddit Dan's face even makes it that far.
So what happened is after.
Yeah.
Oh my God, Dan, your hair!
And that's how that.
That's how the cookie crumbles.
Good. What else do we use? So accessory-wise, Adam stuck with the Lotus Jaws V-Cut.
Lotus
of course.
Jaws V-Cut, serrated.
Yeah, I did the VX2 Zycar. Both. This is non-serrated, but still fantastic cut.
Yeah.
Can't ask for much better than that.
Yeah.
That was
I've
a
got
heck
the
of a sword.
Zycar. What's the technical name on this?
It's called the MTX Multi-Tool.
Alright.
Because it's
So
got the
Scraper.
scissors, folds up, and there's like a little 2-inch thing.
Like a
pocket.
Leatherman tool
Yeah,
style.
It's got 4 tools on it. all lighter tools, pretty much bleeding, adjusting.
Screw,
We use
yeah.
it a ton for
We use it a
bleeding.
lot.
Yeah, so we have 2 of them.
And
So
then we have the
speaking of-
Vertigo Cyclone lighter.
Cyclone, best.
Great little lighter.
Bang
Best,
for the buck.
That's a few bucks you're gonna spend, pretty much.
Best lighter for your boat, golf bag, car.
It's $10.
Yeah, it's fantastic.
You're not losing
That's a
on-
great lighter.
You're not losing. Well, example lighter I chose today, Calibri, the Quasar Astoria, black on black.
You just got that, didn't you?
I did a few weeks ago.
Oh,
So
that's the
cool.
one with the cutter on the back.
Yeah.
Also.
Yeah, but you know,
It's a big bad boy.
if I drop this off the boat, I want to be mad. This
Yeah,
retails
you're-
for $150.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's got the cutter on the back. Now, I've used it a few times. It's very awkward to cut cigars. It actually cuts pretty well, but it's really hard to get a hold of.
Right.
Who was it that made the one with
But when
the
you're in a
V
pinch.
that's on the back like that?
Lotus makes
Lake,
that. Yeah.
that was-
They also, I think, make one too. But and then the fuel window's inside, which is kind of weird. I wish it was
That's
on the
not
side
too
or
bad.
something.
Some
But
of
it's
them
not the
don't.
end of the road. This, though, if you all remember when we first were playing with it, you know, how
Loosened
hard
up
this
a
was,
lot?
it
Oh,
loosened
yeah.
up so much.
Okay.
This is so hard when you take it out of the box. But now it's just,
I dig how on that whole line though they did that little geometric
oh,
nub
it's, yeah, all the
shape,
Quasar stuff.
and
which
also
we actually don't have on the table this time.
Yeah.
We don't have the Quasar.
Yep. Well, we decided to change up some of the accessories and show off
that's hefty.
other
Mm-hmm.
ones.
That's $150.
It feels like
better
a-
be pretty damn good.
It feels like
So-
150.
So Alex, you're drinking bamboo. And,
Bamboo.
that's your guys' drink, man. It seems.
Yeah, it's
I try not to drink it all too often.
banana
It's
infused rum from the Caribbean,
Barbados.
from Barbados.
I haven't
banana-
actually haven't sipped yet, so a little bit. I thought this might be an interesting pair because I've had this cigar before. I expect a little spicy.
And I think it's too much
earthiness.
for it.
I don't know.
So this rum is a
We'll talk halfway through.
it's banana. It's rum and banana and vanilla. It tastes like bananas Foster or a banana cream pie, and it is fantastic with a. It has sugar content, so it's fantastic with a heavy cigar. It's great by itself.
It smells
it's,
awesome.
it's my go-to after dinner. It is just unbelievably
We gotta
delicious.
stop for who else got in there. This changes a lot when you get to the wrapper.
Oh yeah. That's the cool part about this
I've
cigar.
never really paid attention to that before. I've usually just smoked it and been
Yeah.
smoking it, and I just
No,
paid
it
attention.
does.
And I
It's
just
like
got there.
it's bonus.
I
It's
just got
bonus
there and
tobacco.
It's like, this
you know.
this is different.
Yeah, it's neat.
And I got a pretty long. I think my shag foot was longer than.
Seth, it's
The
not a
rest.
measuring contest.
You got a longer foot. Is that what you're saying? They're all 12 inches there, buddy.
Yeah, you need
Yep,
a bigger
yep,
cutter. The Big Daddy.
12 inches, right?
And then
The Big
Adam, you're drinking.
I am drinking the Cocoa Brown from Black Rocks Brewery up in Marquette. Fantastic brown ale. Hints of coconut. It's sweet, malty. It's just a delicious beer. I thought it might go nice with this. I have not tried this combo yet, and we'll see tonight. We'll see how it goes.
I gotta say, those guys up there, they're good friends of my brother and I, and they put out some fantastic beer.
Yeah, I think this is a great pairing. I thought it would be.
Should be.
And then me and Seth were boring and went with just some coffee and water, which still really goes well with this. I think that coffee, just black coffee flavor, gives a nice note to it.
These are the moments, though, that I don't miss drinking too much. But there's moments where
Where you want to taste
yeah,
something.
yeah, you want to
Yeah.
taste. And it's not that I couldn't. I just
Yeah.
chose to go all out. And
Sure. You know, like
haven't looked back.
what we always say, you know, what goes well with a cigar, water and coffee.
Mhm.
Always, always, always.
Actually,
Doesn't
you're
matter
right.
from a Connecticut.
Your best option is always water.
Yeah.
Neutral.
Yeah.
Coffee's just great. I think, you know, if you add a little cream or sugar, it can, you know, enhance or just go black. What kind of grind, what kind of roast you're doing, for sure, can really enhance or palate cleanser or, you know, the warmth of it, too,
Which is
is
where-
always nice.
We gotta try
I like
like
a soda water here and there too. The
No,
bubbles,
yeah.
even though they're a lot bigger than
Tiny
a
bubbles.
Prosecco, but
the mountain. No, is it Tiny Bubbles? Is that the your commercial with the mountain from guy who plays the Mountain on Game of Thrones. Do you remember that? Is it Tiny Bubbles?
I never watched Game of Thrones.
Yeah.
That you remember seeing that?
I'm the
I don't,
5% of the world that never ever watched
I
Game
have
of Thrones.
no idea what Game of Thrones
I don't
is.
remember specifically, but winter is coming,
Well,
and it's about time.
I
to
got.
watch
If
this.
anybody out there knows, tell me. I'm gonna find out after this.
Well, you're
but,
gonna get
yeah.
a million people commenting on that.
We know.
Yeah, little bubbles.
It actually was originally Lawrence Welk.
Huh.
Yeah.
And they would have, he would had a show on, I don't know, 50s, 60s, whatever. And I was, you're gonna get punched. And
It's coming.
he was a big band leader, but it was like, dance, like ballroom dancing. And his big sayings was, and a one, and a two, and then they had a bubble machine, and I think he used to say, bubbles, tiny bubbles, or something like that. I don't know. I was very small when that was out. Maybe somebody out there can help us with that one too.
I think we just gotta rely on our viewers to just help us with everything. We're just incompetent.
We can light a cigar.
We bring up a lot of questions that we need answers to.
Yeah. It's not 30 years ago. I have this question. I don't know. Well, I guess we'll never know. Now I have this question.
We make the questions. You bring the
Google.
answers.
One thing I like about the Hamlet line, I really like the wrap on it. It's raised. This color, this kind of baby blue with the classic big H for the Hamlet. He always and that the Maduro I think has that dark green in the red one.
You like that? You like that Tabacaro?
It's just a really
good smoke,
cool
though.
looking, and then also on this one it has that secondary little Liberation one, and those are good timing cues for me on a cigar too.
Oh, when you're like, hey,
Well,
you're hitting
I'm
forward.
like hitting it, and then I'm like, oh, I'm getting close to that one, and it's almost like unwrapping a present for me. I know that sounds kind of silly. When I take that band out, I'm like, I'm getting down. Take that band off, and I'm like, oh, that cigar looks a lot bigger now. You know.
It's like that right camera lens.
Adds 10 pounds.
You didn't get my good
I need
side.
that one.
You can have some of mine.
Well, gentlemen, what do we think of this cigar so far?
Finally hit the wrapper.
Yeah.
Wow. That
Yeah, I didn't.
took you.
Yeah.
I didn't know
Quite
you.
a while.
I didn't know you in the nursing program. You're the nurse in that
But
cigar.
up bump. What do your children think?
Fall off a cliff.
Because the dad jokes are heavy.
Yeah, I don't have any children yet, unless the sewer's getting pregnant.
Wow. Easy.
Garbage dump.
So what do we think of this?
That's what you
Anything?
call it, right?
Anybody?
I think it's really good. I think I'm still getting that peppery, almost kind of sweetness. I don't know if it's the bamboo. I haven't had the cigar in a while, but just a little pepperiness, a little sweetness.
I get an oatiness, and I get a lot of cocoa from this cigar.
I've always gotten the cocoa. I had this earlier today, and it's just like there's a lot of cocoa to it. And going from a cigar that smelled like barnyard to
I think
tasting
this is a good size to pick too, the Corona Gorda. 'cause
It's fantastic.
the proportions are a lot more equal. And
Yep.
that's that conversation we always have of, why, Lancero versus 660.
Proportion of wrap
Yeah.
to filler to binder.
And then when you kind of like let it all pass over your tongue, that lingering flavor, it's like we were talking the other day. It's got some nuttiness to it. It's creamy, and it does taste like what you were saying earlier. It's like that, like a residual taste and flavor of like peanut butter.
Yeah, I get that. I get that. Definitely a creaminess, and that goes with that oatiness, and there's like a note in there, and it's a nut note. But that creaminess, it's almost like that fat that you get from a peanut. That real rich, lingery creaminess on your palate. It might be an aftertaste. It's not the immediate, but peanut is definitely, and it's that oatiness to maybe a toasted peanut, a lingering toasty peanut, creaminess to that nut fat kind of thing. It's a great smoke.
I can almost see it. I get it. I do.
Yeah,
It's
it's
there.
weird.
It's not something I'd ever think about. But
It's almost like It's like a mix of cereal with some cocoa and
Yeah, there's a wheat grain or something in there that's like a, not quite a rye, but that kind of wheat flavor, and then there's that cocoa-ness to it. It's a real interesting blend. I know on the Maduro Hamlet, they do, you get a blend of spices in that, and that cigar actually will change halfway through.
yeah.
I haven't necessarily noticed it with this one in particular.
No,
This
I
one
have
kind
not
of
either.
smokes fairly
Consistent.
all the way through, even through purging. It gets heavier cocoa, spice.
I'm expecting the spice in the final third to pick up. I think it'll pick up in the final third.
I think it starts getting real. See, right now it's just real crisp and clean, and it's a lot of that oat. I think when you get to that first band, it is where it starts
Just
building
even
up.
the nose on the smoke. To me, there's certain cigars that I smell and I'm like, that's what a cigar smells like. There's just the one time you're like, that smells like a cigar. There's other times you're like,
It's what you want to walk by on the
Exactly.
street. When
It's
someone's smoking in
fantastic.
the park and you get that whiff.
that
it's
one
just,
whiff, you're like, oh,
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh.
this cigar right here is it's got a very, very smooth, subtle, really pleasant
I
odor
mean,
that comes back
look,
at you.
for meeting the guy, I expect nothing less. I haven't had anything bad out of his line yet. Out of anything. Tabacaro's great. 25th, more mild, easy going. It's great. This is probably one of my, that's probably my favorite.
We'll have to throw that video up too of him actually doing that presentation of rolling cigars. Talk about just a master, and one of the things that kind of blew me away by it is like when they're handling the tobacco and they're leaves, so you think Michigan, you
Brittle.
think crack and whatever, and they're more like paper or leather or I don't know.
Well, I mean, the one misconception people always get is like, oh, I went down to Florida and I had a fresh rolled cigar. I'm like, why would you smoke a cigar that was just rolled? They make that tobacco pliable, so it's gonna be like smoking a sponge. You can't light it up immediately after somebody rolls it.
Yeah, pretty wet.
Don't you
it's-
want to
it's
wait
wet.
a few weeks for it?
I mean, if you give it a couple days, you're gonna
Dry
be
box,
okay.
yeah.
Put it in a cigar box
Right.
for a couple days, you'll be good. Because that stuff is way humid, so it's pliable.
And you'd have to do it evenly too, it's humid down there when there's a lot of sun. So, leaving it out, not going to do it. Dry the wrap out, and then the rest is going to be
you gotta
wet.
Put it into like
You would
that's
have to
not a
dry-
cigar
dry box
like
it.
a wood cigar box. Put it in there, close
Yeah.
it, let
Yeah,
let
so
that
it
wood
absorbs.
soak it up.
Yeah.
In a day or two, you're good to go. Everyone's it's so good.
What was this wrap again?
Takes a little planning.
Ecuadorian.
Ecuadorian Habano.
Habano. That's a little bit of that dusty, oaty I get from that Habano wrap, I think, and the Ecuadorian is giving it that richness.
The thing I think adds a good flavor is that using Nicaragua and Honduran tobacco on the filler. I think that's a good blend of flavors. Nicaraguan kind of powerhouse, spicy. Honduran, like we've seen with the CLE, is a little more easier going, but still flavorful.
Yeah, very smooth on that side of it.
I'm definitely getting that huge peanutty. And I don't know if it's because I'm drinking this beer, which has a malty sweetness and a cocoa too, but I get almost a little metallic on the end of that.
I'm just trying to take a sip of this and some of this, see.
Like a minerally.
I don't get the minerally.
A lot of cocoa too.
It's
Just chunks of cocoa,
I don't-
and
I
it's
don't
that
see the
dry.
cocoa. I'm just-
You
I'm
don't
just
get
not-
that.
I'm just not
See,
getting
I
it.
don't think you're getting it from. I think that's killing
It
you.
could be. The combination of taking a drink of this and smoking this is very pleasant. Do I think it's a perfect pair? I don't. I don't think it's a perfect.
Well, that goes pretty well with just about anything.
Yeah, it's not perfect, but I think it's good. It doesn't. It's not mask anything. I guess maybe the cocoa I'm missing. But
Those are big flavors. That banana and vanilla are big, and then the sugar content of that is big. A big.
Yeah, this cigar might
Dark
just not
cigar.
be big, bold enough.
Yeah, it's almost there, but this is very nuanced
I mean,
in its flavors.
I don't know. What would you guys say? I mean, mild to
Medium
medium
plus.
on the body,
It's-
medium.
It's very medium.
We smoke too frequently, so I would say a medium
Let's
plus.
call it medium plus. Keep it in that kind of.
Yeah.
If this is your third cigar ever, probably don't go for this one. Go for the Hamlet 25th.
It's got some
the
body
mild.
to it. It's,
Yeah.
it's
it
definitely
does.
not mild.
It's
but
not a light cigar.
But it's not-
definitely
it's
not
not
offensive
full.
either, though.
It's not full either.
No.
Yeah, it's super pleasant. I think the mix of the filler, the binder, and everything is just so well blended together to give us that very flavorful and smooth smoke.
You know what I do? What I'm getting, that metallic, I figured it out. It's almost that, and it could be a lot of this because this has coconut in it, but I'm getting that kind of like almost that Hawaiian tropic suntan oil, the way that smells.
Mm-hmm.
I'm getting, after that peanut fat and the cocoa, that like a chocolate cocoa, dry powder, I get a little bit of that tropical spice, and I think that's where that metallic is kind of coming in,
It's like an organic kid cereal.
it's a damn good cigar.
Nothing but oats and
It's
cocoa
yeah,
powder.
yeah. You fill it out on the
Yeah.
back and get
This
the
isn't what I
toy
wanted.
surprise. It's very enjoyable. It's a very enjoyable smoke. I'm pleasantly surprised by this cigar.
A little bit of spice in there.
But not as much as the foot.
Oh, absolutely not. I agree
It
with you
opens
100%.
up with a lot more, and then you
Yeah.
get to the wrapper leaf, and it
Yeah.
tones things down quite a bit.
Yeah, I enjoy that, because you are getting that bonus amount of tobacco. It looks cool. I like the concept of Hamlet going, why should I cut that off? I think it's a
Why waste
cool
it?
Give you
signature
extra
marker
free
for him.
cigar.
And you're right. I mean, it's you start that with that Shaggy Foot, and it's a completely different cigar. And then you get into the wrapper, and then all these flavors start coming into it.
You get it's like 5 and 5/8, so you get 5/8 of an area that's not with the wrapper, and then you got some different flavor. And then once you hit the wrapper, it just starts
Well,
to
it's
blend.
interesting that you've been part of it. I know you've been part of it. I think three of us. I don't think he has yet.
Breakdown?
Though, but the Alec Bradley
Yeah, yeah.
deconstruction events that they do, where
That's so fun.
it's so nice because events are fun and a lot of times they're educational. But that's like the ultimate education.
It
They
is.
give you puritos of filler tobacco, binder tobacco, the wrapper tobacco, and then they give you the whole cigar. It's a lot of smoking, but it's like, all right, light this up, okay. And this is this part. This is this part. All right, now take these two and smoke them together. All right, now take these three and smoke them together, and take the wrapper and the filler and do that, and take the binder and the wrapper and do this. And
when
It's
you,
eye-opening. It's
It
amazing. It makes you really appreciate what goes into blending. Because, I mean, you can have just two of those components in, say, the binder and the wrapper together. Like, oh, that was kind of weird. And then you do the binder and the filler together, and that was pretty pleasant. But then you smoke all three of them, and
It's like,
they
what
just
if
turned
these-
into something completely
it's like how
different.
much time these guys have put into blending a cigar to create it a very super pleasant.
just talking
smoke.
with Hamlet about blending like this cigar, it may have been Tabacaro or something. He goes through and he lives in Florida and he got tons of tobacco to send to him. And he's just like, all right, I'm trying this little. They're trying this little piece and this little and this wrap, and then it's to blend a cigar takes so much work.
I got cocoa with like a nutty.
That was a really good hit. Puff.
It's
Super
just, I'm telling you, it's just an enjoyable smoke all the way around.
I like how this time Adam has his drinks all off to the side of the ash.
So he doesn't ash in.
You learn from your mistakes.
I
Yeah.
learned.
This one likes to kind of like weave.
It does, but the
And
burn's still good. Well, mine's a
Burns really good.
little,
But
it's not razor sharp, but it's good.
Oh, you asked already.
yeah, he
Twice.
ashed in the beginning.
Mine's
He's falling. He's struggling over there.
Struggle busting. Don't bring it up. But a tear.
Yeah, I always like to, especially when we do these little reviews on the cigars, I like to see how long the ash goes. I think it speaks to the construction of the
Drop it
cigar.
in your water line.
You could hear the sizzle. I really do. You can see the construction and kind of get a view of what that tobacco, how it was rolled. Yeah.
I don't know if it's because I'm drinking coffee, but at this point, I'm starting to get a little more. It's pleasant, but it's a bitterness on the back of the tongue.
Yep.
It's kind of like a black coffee.
Yeah.
But separate from.
That's
I'm sure
that
it has some
metallic.
influence.
That's that metallic kind of. There's a little tropical something going there, and then you get a little sharp. You know, a black pepper or
Nice
a
little
burnt,
tingle.
a toast.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm seeing, for me, I'm getting like this very pleasant little pepperiness, touch of sweetness, a little woodsy, kind of like woody kind of taste.
When I say bitter, it's not a negative thing.
Not an unpleasant bitter. That's that metallicness that I
There's
was
some
talking
very
about.
unpleasant bitters. But
Yeah.
This is not one of them.
Yeah, that was that metallic that I was talking about. There's a little sharpness, almost like a high cocoa content, you know, and it's not chocolate.
Mm-hmm.
It's cocoa powder. It's a very dry, dusty cocoa flavor, and almost that dark chocolate, you know, like a high cocoa content bitterness to it. It's good. It's good smoke.
How about the pairings? Still going well? Is this working out for you?
It's not bad. I think they do go. It's not, as I said, it's not perfect. It's not. It's a good pairing. I think with the pepperiness I'm getting, the sweetness, especially since the ice melted a little bit and kind of loosened up on how sweet this actually is. It's equaling out pretty well. I don't feel like I'm missing anything. Is it perfect? No. Is it good? Yes. I would do this pair again.
It's a great drink. No doubt about it.
Just because I think this has got enough body and it's got that pepperiness that I'm getting. Not overly, but the sweetness and that, they do what we were talking about. We're doing perpendicular.
Well,
This
it
is
allows
this
you
way,
to get,
this is going this way.
Yeah, it allows you to get other flavors though sometimes, and I think this, because it's such a similar flavor to that, it's bringing out this because it's already cocoa, coconut, chocolatey. It's masking that a little bit and allowing some of those other flavors to come out. Does not compete. It's actually these. If you were going to make this cigar into a beer, this would be it right here.
I think it's specifically that beer, or could other browns work?
No, Dan again.
Hey, it's
On
not
the
as
table.
dirty as last time. I'll try to cover myself. It's not as dirty as last time. So it's the show off.
So disappointed in you.
I think it is.
Face off between Adam and Seth.
I think it is actually specific to this beer. I think that Black Rocks does an amazing job. This is an amazing beer. It has just nuances of coconut in it. It has a chocolatiness to it. It's not over on any one of those. It's not too sweet and malty, but it has that touch to it. It has a toasted coffee chocolateness to it. It has a coconut to it, and
I think the best thing about that beer is it's not. People do the cocoa brown and they think, oh, it's gonna be so coconut forward. It's
yeah.
You gotta do the what is it? The Price is Right or something.
Wah, wah, wah.
I just got a lot of cashew.
Yeah, I get that nut fat from that. You know, that really kind of creamy, and that's just a great.
And now you.
And
Look at this though. That's
well,
solid.
you know what? I will say
That is
this.
solid.
I
Look
will
at
say
that.
this. Our time on
It's
it was
still solid.
consistent. About a third of that cigar before those ashes let loose. That's a pretty good.
I didn't
Made
cheat
it to
this
the
year,
little
this
band.
week.
We need to start doing a little scoreboard on
Yeah.
Chalkboard back here.
who let the ash
Seth
go.
won.
So
Again.
what's the who? If you're the loser, what's the like? You got to do this type.
You clean up the table at the end of the night.
Yeah.
Well,
No pants on the next.
Yeah.
Yeah. Again.
Yeah. They don't know. Our viewers don't know if we're
This
wearing
is
pants.
3 in a row.
Yeah.
we're supposed to wear
The
pants.
pantsless 4 leafers.
I didn't get that memo.
Yeah.
Ah. It was a
You're
little.
new.
I wore
mean,
I wore my kilt today.
It's a little cold in here, so you know. I don't know if you guys feel it on the legs like I do, but
These leather seats.
Drafty.
Yeah.
Was this Vietnam? Drafty.
Sticking. Yeah. It's a good cigar.
Oh, I'm the only straight cut tonight.
Are you?
Yeah.
says something.
Well, got the longest ash.
I prefer a V. I will always go with a V if the gauge is big enough. It just to me the surface area of it it's
In
the
theory,
mouthpiece.
you can cut anything. In theory.
Yeah, I do enjoy doing not we talked about it the other day a torpedo, not the real long torpedo,
Yeah.
but that little more kind of
More
chisel
towards
head.
like the bellicoso, where it's like this.
And I love doing
Not like this.
a V cut on it because
Like,
I call it the fishtail. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? And it's real pointy and they're real sharp. And I like that mouthfeel of that sharp V cut.
I love the scissors on right around 50 ring gauge.
Yeah,
If
they
you
get
get much
mad,
beyond
it's hard.
52,
Well, especially with these, they make
Tend to-
scissors that are bigger. Like they make bigger. Different companies make them.
but these are great.
I get a ton of coconut in this
I
too.
literally, well, I think that's your drink, but I just got a bunch of like peanut flavor.
Yeah, like a couple puffs ago, it was straight up cashew.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There
I
was
didn't have the
no
cashew as
second guess
much.
on that one.
To me, it was just like straight peanut.
That nice creamy nut
Mhm.
fat. I always get a coconut from this cigar, and but not over the top. You know, not
Like a toasted.
yeah. You know, like in real coconut, not coconut artificial
Not-
coconut
artificial
flavor.
bullshit.
You know, a real and nuances of it. You know. And every now and again, you know, we talk about that, you know, when you get that just aha moment flavor in a cigar, you know, where you get like a maple or something like that. And it's just extremely enjoyable,
What'd
you
you
know.
get there?
I don't know. Just tasted really good there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's really good. It wasn't one of those where I can like, you know, this was this. It was just like I just took a puff and it was just like I kind of breathed a little in my nose too, and I was like, wow.
So what do we, how do y'all feel about the relight?
I didn't have to relight it.
No,
We haven't had to
whenever
I
you
didn't have to
do.
either. I do it every now and then to.
If you
I
gotta
can
catch
freshen it up.
or- yeah.
No, it totally did not call for it, but I wanted to see if it would change the
But
flavor at all.
I find when you relight too many times, it really starts to dwindle down the
It does
flavor.
impact the
Mhm.
flavor. You
Yeah.
let it burn out without purging it too many times.
It
It's
really
just-
starts to impact the overall flavoring and
does.
tasting of it.
It's one of those things
I
you
think it's
don't.
after 3 times.
You don't
it
have to
really
pay that
starts
much attention to a cigar to keep it going. You could puff it every 45 seconds, a minute.
Most.
Shit, some cigars you let them sit for 2 minutes of puffing. It's still perfect.
I
Some
find
you
it,
can walk away for 10 minutes. And
I
Come
find
back and you're like, wow.
a 5-minute rule on mine, and a good drawing cigar, you come back to it, and it's going just as hard as any other cigar.
As I said, the final third, I'm starting to get a lot more peppery.
Yeah. Did you
I
purge
like
it yet?
Yeah, after every ash. I still get like I'm just trying to smell the wrapper a little bit as I take a puff, and it smells sweet. I don't think it has to do with this either, because I got it before we even lit it up.
There's just a dry coconut cocoa-iness to it. I mean,
And that
it's
could
just
be the sweetness that I'm getting.
yeah. But it's a sweetness, but it's not that.
Just it smells.
I don't
Actually,
know.
you know what it smells like? It smells like a lot of Cuban cigars.
Yeah.
Because I've had a ton of them where I'm just like, they got like this. It's almost like honey kind of sweetness smell to them. That's kind of what I'm getting.
One thing I have
tobacco.
noticed too in all of these cigars, especially with the Mans, is the heavy-handed glue person on the ring. Ring's not coming off. I got
Which cigar?
I got a little peel on this.
The really bad one is the Filthy Hooligans. That thing
it's
is
nothing.
so hard.
Nothing against the cigar. We've all had. a
No,
bunch
that
of them,
cigar
but
is a
They're
phenomenal
banned
cigar.
on that one. All the other Alec Bradley cigars, not a problem. Filthy Hooligan, you gotta fucking cut that thing off.
I think it's the material too.
Yeah.
The paper's just really thin. I don't know. Who knows? Maybe we got to get to a barber pole cigar at some point. That's a good one. It's a good one to get at some point.
You got a couple to work through still.
Yeah.
Oh, that just changed.
Yeah.
I got
It's-
a little
it's-
bit of the when I smelt it in the beginning, a little bit of that barnyard smell,
See, it's
and hit back to me, and then it kind of smoothed out to.
it's
a
so
cream.
nice with a cigar like this to
weird.
get this complexity and this price range. because we smoked that. What did we do? The Don Carlos a couple episodes ago, and
That was
it's a great cigar. It's straight all the way through. Flavor doesn't really evolve, but this is, you get that first little bit that's just the filler binder tobacco. Then it evolves into, you get up to where the wrapper is, and then you get the first third, and then the second third's a little different, and then the final third's a little different. There's a lot of complexity as you go through the thing.
You have to pay attention to it. Like, say with the ones that don't change much. In a good way, it's a thoughtless cigar.
Yep.
Like, you don't have to pay attention to it. It tastes great the whole time. It's consistent.
Yeah.
And then there's others that are constantly
Evolving.
Well, it's like we talked about, it was quite a while ago that we smoked a Don Carlos, and we were just sitting there, and we just look at each other, and it's just, the cigar is, it's good, but there's not a lot here. It's like, I would buy the cigar over and over and over, because it's just good. There's not a lot of complexity, not a lot of
You know what you're going to get.
Yeah.
It's consistent.
It's so you said thoughtless. It's a good cigar you can get and just
And it can
smoke.
be a good thing to have that thoughtless cigar. This holds my attention. Every draw, I'm getting. It's a nice surprise. It's whether you let it build, and you're getting this complexity of flavors, or if you purge it, and it goes kind of back to those initial, flavors that you had.
I have to say with that Don Carlos, I liked it. It was good, but for me in the very forefront, it was just too spicy. Too much spice that I was just like, what?
Well, we came up with that,
Yeah.
and he nailed it. And we were talking about all the peppers that we thought maybe it was. You had white pepper, I was saying peppercorn, and you hit it right on the head. And when you said that cayenne pepper, because it wasn't hot spicy, but it had more of that
Burn.
It was the
burn
flavor,
heat
too,
to the
of
nasal.
the pepper, not just the heat.
a toasted
But
cayenne or whatever,
It's like you threw it in a pan. Kind of
almost a
just cooking
smoked
The-
paprika.
The thing I find so funny about that, and we all got it, is in doing things generally Dominican cigars are not peppery. Generally, Nicaraguan tobacco gets more of the peppery. Dominican's usually a little bit more easier going. But with that cigar, we all got pepper, which for me, in the
was
whole
heavy.
doing the general thing in your mind, where this is Dominican tobacco, this is Nicaraguan, this one's going to be spicy, this one's not. That threw a wrench in it for me.
I would love to sit down and smoke this with Hamlet and have his
You never know.
thoughts on that.
Could happen.
I really would like to hear what, just even in how they blend them to get those flavors, that he knows that, okay, this is, these leaves, these are the ones we're going to use, and the binders.
Someone like him, it's so nice talking to someone because he has such a passion
Yeah,
for it.
yeah.
He's been rolling.
It's their lives.
He's been rolling.
That's an
forever.
intimate relationship with that tobacco. I mean, you know which leaves you're reaching for. You know which batch is going to have this
Artistry.
little nuance.
You know where it came from, how it was
You know
grown.
what you're working with. It is an art.
It is an art, for sure. Well, gentlemen, what do we think of this cigar?
I think wrapping up,
it's good.
It's fantastic.
It's-
Yeah.
The complexity of the flavors.
Use
Was,
your words.
Yeah. Yeah.
Come on,
I didn't
come on,
get
Dan.
that this
Come
month.
on.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm just trying.
The
Yeah.
word
Off of
calendar.
Did you
memory.
get that
wasn't-
did
it
you get
wasn't-
complexity off your word calendar?
It wasn't
No,
this word
no,
today.
Looked at yours and I tried to.
Oh yeah, you
step
don't want to
up
look at my
game.
word calendar.
I smoked 2 of these last night. They were great.
I smoked one
So-
earlier today. It was a good smoke.
It's a very enjoyable smoke, and when I go for a cigar, that's what I'm looking for. I'm looking for something that's going to be pleasant. It's going to intrigue me. It's going to draw me in. That I enjoy the moment of having that cigar.
Makes it to the list.
Yeah,
Well, it's
for
like-
sure.
It's like I said too. When you're getting this kind of complexity, these kind of flavors in a under $15 cigar.
Yeah, this is
Around
just around
10?
Yeah, it's just around 10. And the reason we picked this is, well, he had it. He was like, all right, you guys got to try this. I had it. I think you had it. And then we're just like,
Because I
yeah,
really
it's a
enjoyed
good
that.
smoke.
The Maduro. I thought the Maduro was a fantastic cigar. A different cigar than this. This is a little lighter and a more of an everyday for me. The Maduro is more of like a later night cigar, but enjoyable nonetheless.
Something I find funny about that is, when you read the book about this stuff, Tabacero they say is the medium plus, and this is more of like the medium. Or no, they said this is a full.
Right now, it's picked up a lot for me.
Yeah, as
I'm
that
getting
builds,
a lot more body.
Yeah, you get that cocoa.
I would
and
say at that sense, after smoking it like this, when we get in depth, it would be a medium to a full because that flavor really builds.
Yeah.
There's a lot more mouthfeel to it.
Yes.
But it's
you can
not
have a lot of
heavy.
flavor,
No.
but light on the palate.
Yeah.
And
If
it's,
that makes sense.
yeah, even though it gets more full body, it's not overpowering and unpleasant. Even for someone that's been smoking cigars maybe for a little bit of time, it would be one that would go from like a Connecticut and move your way up to it. It's definitely a really nice.
Yeah, I would go all the way around with that body, flavor, sophistication, everything. You're looking at a 5, 6, 7 cigar rate on that. On your entry level. This is not a beginner cigar, but it's a very well handled cigar. You could smoke this and really enjoy it, even if you weren't smoking big cigars. It would be the entry level onto a larger cigar for sure.
This is a good bridge between that. I've smoked the mild. I've dipped my toes in the medium a little bit. Now I want to get a little fuller. This is that good kind of next step.
Everybody
and the
have it.
size too is a great. It's a great intro to that because you're not committing to 2 hours.
Correct. Yeah.
It's not more than you can handle necessarily.
Right.
I agree.
So, but
Everybody-
still get a great feel for it, and it's stepping into a whole nother
Realm. Yeah. And I like that. Everybody I've introduced this to has really enjoyed it. It's enjoyable. Even though the level might start getting more to that advanced cigar, this is still, the flavor profiles are there. It's enjoyable all the way through. It's delicate, complex, yet it's still a medium plus. Yeah.
Well, this last little bit, it's obviously picking up a heat a little bit, but I'm getting a little zing on the lips.
Yeah.
Like that kind of, you eat spicy food.
I think it's pleasant.
It's
Enjoy
not. It's
that.
not over
most,
the top.
Most
It's
of the
not
time,
like
most of the time it's pleasant. There's some that are.
This isn't like, oh my god, I just ate a habanero. I'm on fire. It's just I'm getting a little tingle on the lips.
A little tingle.
Yeah.
Well, gentlemen, any suggestions for next week?
I don't know. I think we see where this road takes us at this point. I mean, we've covered
I
all the
agree.
bases. I think we need to touch on maybe.
We do
something
have to
infused.
potentially look at one gentleman asked the flying pig, so that's
Yeah,
one that's
we'll,
in
we'll have to
our queue.
we'll have to get some of those number 9 flying pigs and do that sometime soon.
Yeah.
It's a nice cigar. Interesting thing about that one, I learned from a fellow cigar bar owner in the state is that cigar is meant to be smoked and you don't ash it
Interesting.
because
So we'll
it
see
just
who,
stays together.
So we'll
He's,
see
he-
who.
he's like you cut it, you light it, you don't ash it.
That'll be interesting to smoke.
Yeah.
That'd be cool. All right. Till next week. You guys have a good one.